p.m.
The other night was we were in a good football game. They were good. They were a very good football team, and battled that thing out to that final play. So they made a couple more plays than we did, but it was a great game. And I thought offensively we played very well. Ran the ball well. Sawyer threw the ball well, and then we had our moments on defense. We just we didn't make the plays, some of the plays you wanted to make in those fourth downs and those third downs. So that kind of came back to haunt us. But overall, they're a very good team with a lot of seniors on offense, and they made some plays. So, and then this week it's on to North Dakota State. So, any questions?
Mark, you still got any explanation on the interference at the end?
No, nobody ever told me who or what. I know now just by watching the film and things like that. So, I believe they called a pass interference away from the ball on one of our guys. So it wasn't involved in the play. So, you know, we can't do anything about it. We just have to move on, and that game's over, and move on to North Dakota State.
Before that game last week, at this time, you said our backs are against the wall. How do you feel now, Mark?
Evidently, our backs are against the wall. They always are. I mean, there's really nothing new. I mean, last week going to Youngstown, I mean, when you got out there, you found out how big that game was to Youngstown. And, you know, we just say it here. Every game is big to us, but you found out the effort and the time they put in that football game. Just when you started hearing about the meeting, the things they'd done since July, that was the biggest one that had hit Youngstown. So they're always excited. North Dakota State will be excited. We're just glad to get home. We're going to get a home football game. We got a good team coming in here, and we have not played at home for a while, so we're just anxious to get back.
Do you expect to be better on the injury front this week?
No, actually, the injury front is we'll get a couple guys back, but we lost a couple guys too. So, you know, we're just fighting some things right now that you know, we just have to work around, and that's football right now. We're taking some injuries that are taking players out of games, and it's something we have to coach around. So we just have to find a way to get that done, and that's what we're working on.
On that final play Saturday, there's some video that shows might have been 1 second on the clock when the penalty was called. Is there a runoff on that, or did you ever get word on? And somebody said an official was holding up one finger saying 1 second left.
Yeah, there you know, we think there was 1 second, but you know that play's dead and gone. So, you know, we can rehash that one till long into the night, but it won't do any good. It was that minute 50 seconds left. We should have made that play. You know, it was a play that we should have made, and a couple others before that. So, you know, that play is history, and we just have to move on.
You made a couple changes along the defensive line Saturday night. I think Pfeiffer and I can't remember who else started the defensive end.
Colin. Yep.
Yeah. Was that injury related, and where is the defensive line going into this game?
Well, we played 7 guys on the defensive line on Saturday night, and that actually went very well. I thought Tim Clark played very well at times, and Xavier's been playing very good. Mac O'Brien got hurt, but came back late in that game. So by rolling guys through there, I thought that helped us, and why I did it, I felt we needed a little bit more production from the front, but at the same time there's a lot of equity in that play up front. So, you know, we just had to feel good enough that those guys can play at any time for us, and we did, and it actually worked out. Worked out well.
You expect to use that many guys on the defensive front again this week?
Oh yeah, we'll use as many as that are healthy. We've got a couple guys right now that are in question from that defensive front, but who's ever padded up, will play.
Mark, if you were in the bowl subdivision, if you were FBS, you'd have no chance to win the national title now. But being FCS, you know, you still have opportunity. Right. Is that something you talk to your players about, that there's still a lot to play for, even though you're 1 and 3?
Well, we never talk about the playoffs, whether we're 3 and 1 or 1 and 3. I mean, I'm not going to go in there and talk about the playoff runs and those types of things. That's not the purpose. If you start looking at the big picture, or look way down the road of what you need to do to the final one, I mean, you start thinking like that, you forget to play the play that you're in. And we need to play the play that we're in right now and just keep working at that, because, you know, we're in a position that we've got some difficult games and coming off the road now, so we needed to get one of those, and we didn't. So you know, we line up again this Saturday. So I'm not going to look into the future. We're going to try to deal with North Dakota State, and whatever happens there, we'll deal with the next week when that comes. But it'll never be about the end result. It'll be, and it's the journey that's you gotta look at and work towards.
North Dakota State offensively, after playing Wisconsin, Iowa, and Youngstown State's offense, does North Dakota State's offense compare to what any of those three do?
They're probably, North Dakota State's more like Wisconsin as far as an offense is concerned, and probably more dynamic as far as play action passes and things they can do out of it. I think their quarterback is excellent. He's got a great arm, and I think he's the one that really makes things happen, because he can throw such a good, strong, deep ball, understands his offense, does a lot of things at the line of scrimmage for him. Very, very well coached football team, and he's a very good quarterback. He's making things happen, but they're probably more geared towards a Wisconsin outfit than maybe what Youngstown was last week.
Mark, how much has North Dakota State changed, or are they similar to last year's team that won the national title?
Well, they've changed a little bit just because of personnel, but they've never changed how they play, or the philosophy they have on offense and defense. That's pretty similar. So, but that's why they're good. They're consistent. So their personnel has changed a little bit, but the key players are back. They have Williams back at corner, great corner. Like I just mentioned, the quarterback. You need corners, you need quarterbacks to make things like that go, and you need a good offensive line, and they got some good offensive linemen. So they're big and strong up front on both sides of the line of scrimmage, and they got good speed and talent on the edges.
Is this the type of North Dakota State team and even matchup that you envisioned when you found out they were going to join the Valley for football?
Yeah, that was knew exactly what they were going to play. I mean, that's just their style of offense is like I said, it's a power style offense. So they've always been like that, and they recruit to that, and that's the kind of kids that are in their area. So a very strong team, and they've done very well, and they're their state school, so they do a great job up there.
Say, Mark, you had chances to beat Wisconsin, Iowa, and Youngstown. You could have won all three. Are you concerned about your team's spirit? How resilient are they after three tough road losses, would you say?
Well, that's the question in its hands. How resilient are we, and how quickly? That was when I went into the season. You could have been 3-1 at this point, 2-2, or whatever the outcome. Who knew going into this football game? So, with a team like this, you just don't know. You need to get some momentum. No matter what team you have, it doesn't matter how old or experienced they are. You need momentum. We just haven't been able to break that momentum. Although I will say this, I think our offense has done. They have gathered momentum as the season has progressed. So I think that their style of play, I think, is evident that they have become stronger as we've progressed. But yet our defense started out strong, and we've been trying to piece together some things to make us strong, and we just have to continue to do that and do a better job, because we're giving up too many points, way too many for the style of play that I believe we should be.
To that same point, do you remind this team that they're only a handful of plays away from being 3-1 or 4-0?
I don't think you need to remind them. I think they're aware. I mean, we're down to last play of the game. We got a 4th and 1, a 4th and whatever last week, and the game before that. I mean, you can go down the list, so they know. We just have to finish. Stay in the plays we're in. We've been in some battles. We played number 3, Wisconsin, and Iowa. I mean, so we just got to finish those games and gain momentum and just believe in what we do. I'm not going to change anything. We know what we do works, and we know that we can be successful. We just have to stay with the plan. I'm not changing. We just have to clean it up and finish.
How much credit does David deserve for the fact the offense is gathering? He's provided a lot of big plays here, especially last year.
Well, David's a strong runner, and I think Sawyer's strong as well. I think our receivers are making things happen. I think our throwing game is opening up our running game, and I think our offensive line has gotten better. David's made some plays in space, and so have some other guys. But there's no space if you don't have an offensive line. So I think we've gotten better there, and I think the ability to throw the football like we have has garnered more opportunities to rush the football.
How unusual is it with David Johnson to have somebody who can be a receiver and a running back? A guy that size to be a a running back and a receiver.
Well, I think it's very helpful because you get him out on the edges, and when you got to throw over a big defensive lineman, you can get the ball over because you still got a big body out there on the wings. And you know, you saw the catch that he made in the end zone. You know, you got a big, tall receiver, if you will, that you know, Sawyer put it up high, and really there's only one guy that could have caught that ball, and that was David, or it was going to be incomplete. So that helps, and just as it does with LeMaster, and you know, when you got some height at receiver, you got some chances to put some ball in some tough places, and Sawyer can do that.
But how unusual is it for a guy to possess that kind of skill?
It's very unusual for our division. I mean, we don't get the, you know, we normally will get the real speed, quick guy that gets out on those edges, and you know, to have that size on top of it is very unique, particularly to UNI. So that part of it's very unique, but very, you know, very advantageous too.
You could point to a number of teams you played over here that's been rivals, Southern Illinois in the 2000s. Is this with NDSU sort of developing a signature rivalry for this time?
You know, on the rivalry thing, it's, you know, I just listened to the radio guy from Youngstown and said this is the biggest rival in Youngstown history, was us playing Youngstown. You know, last year, North Dakota State said it was the biggest game that hit Fargo. So if we start looking at rivals, I think we're getting out of whack. We just have to look at our, you know, take care of ourselves. You know, every place we go, it's whoever we play the next week, that'll be another rival. So, you know, we're just going to play, work on our game, stay in our rhythm, and try to stay that mindset, and try to grow this football team, because we need to get some W's, and I think that's very evident.
What's your theory? People around the nation might wonder, how did a team from North Dakota get so good? I mean, what do they have going? What makes them special that they've got such a strong program?
One, they've always been good. They are the state school, I mean, as far as I understand it. And, you know, they won national championships at the Division II level year in, year out, many of them. And then when they moved up, you know, the first year they moved up, they were undefeated. So it wasn't a building process, it's just they had to get in the league. And then they got into our league, and ours is a strong league, and you know, they just continue to improve, but I think they were always that good, honestly, because they've got tradition, they've got talent in their area to recruit to what they do, and you know, they have a lot of resources, and they're very good at what they do.
The wrestling program just announced that it's joining the MAC starting this year. Has there been any talk about football officially within the school moving conferences or moving up a division at all?
I think the only talk about the FBS for Northern Iowa is more what Troy has already stated, what we've talked about in just on, you know, sitting around, is we're doing the research to see where UNI should fit in this mix, because there's a lot of movement right now. And to Troy's credit, he's just getting all the information, gathering the information, and trying to put UNI in its best position to make a quality decision when that time comes to make that decision. And I think that decision will be, you know, probably sooner than later, just because of the timing of the FBS. So I think that we're in a window of opportunity, and we're just researching all opportunities and where should UNI fit in this mix, you know, in years to come, because it'll probably set the next 25 years. So I think that's where it's at right now, is a lot of research and a lot of people talking, and you know, just where do we fit and where do we belong, you know, not just now, today, but where do we belong 20 years from now, and how it will make our team, our school, our programs, and our community. How do we make everything stronger, because we need to fit the university, number one, and the university is a huge part of this.
Coach, what's it mean to you to be going into the Athletics Hall of Fame this weekend?
Well, when I was told that, it's a great honor. There's no question. To me, it's an honor to be the head football coach at UNI, and to me, that's a greater honor than the Hall of Fame, just to have this opportunity to lead this football team for this university. So, you know, it's just the people that you're surrounded by when you go into the hall. That's very unique. But it's, you know, you think back on all the teammates and all the people that helped you get here, because we've got the greatest team sport in college, and so. But I think it's it's just an honor to be the head football coach, let alone that honor. Anybody else? All right, thank you.